Hello everybody and welcome to another author interview at InHouse Publishing. Joining me today is Sylvia Martin. I had the privilege of meeting Sylvia at the Sunshine Coast seminar tour last year. Fantastic catch up, and now we're sitting here holding her published book, One Woman's Miracle. So let's cut right to the chase. What is this miracle, Sylvia?
Well, Ocean, I had a bowel blockage. I was sent to hospital, had an operation and accidentally had my bowel cut, which they didn't know for 4 or 5 days, and I was in a bit of a mess by then. So another operation, ended up in ICU, another operation, and they said my bowel was literally falling apart in their hands. So I was on life support, and I was on life support for nearly 4 weeks, and they said there was no hope for me. I had a less than 1% chance of living. So I was switched off life support. And I remember my children saying goodbye to me and my daughter telling me I was dying. No fear whatsoever. And a boy said to me, just relax and let go. And I came out the top of my head like a piece of silk. And I was in a big council room. And they showed me my life.
Okay.
What I had accomplished, what I had balanced out, and also what I still wanted to do in this life. And I remember looking at it thinking, well, if I wanted to do that, I should do it. But he also explained a lot of things to me which I had put down in my book. And then I said, okay, if I said I want to do that, I will do it. And the next thing I was up in a big room, like a welcome home party. All my loved ones were there, my mother, Nana, everybody. It was just beautiful. It was like I was just closeted in love. And then my mother said to me, somebody wants to say something to you.
Hold on. You're going to give too much away of the story. Now, I know this story, and I think it's important that you guys get a copy of this book and reflect and actually see what happened to Sylvia next to explain this miracle. Because I know what you're about to say to everyone. We don't want to give that away. But what I do want to know is that we've got a subtitle here saying everyone's journey. And I want to know, how does this miracle become every reader's journey? How does that work?
Well, a lot of people do not realise who they really are. And we all have our own individual journey, but a lot of the same things happen along these journeys. So I have written what happened on my journey, and I know with my talks and other people coming up to me that they have experienced a lot of the same things I have. And they've said to me, but how are you like you are? You're so happy and peaceful. I said, because I have balanced it out. And I can tell you how you can do that too.
That's intriguing. And I have to say, since we made your website live, which is right behind us, pretty much within a day, and this has been consistent almost every day, I'm reading these beautiful messages that are coming from people directed to you about how they found you, how they found your story. And I think if you guys have an opportunity to catch up at any one of Sylvia's talks that she does, please make the effort to do so. Check out her website and also find out where she'll be speaking, because your story is very unique, and I really commend you for being able to put this down on paper. Which leads me to my next question. How difficult was that, writing about this?
Well, I knew I had to write this book, but I was very ill for so long. It was a couple of years before I was better. 10 months in hospital altogether. And I knew I had to write it down, but it took me a little while. I'd sit down and think, how am I going to start this? And then one morning, a voice in my ear said, I often get a voice talking to me, said, time to write your book. 4 o'clock in the morning, I got up. I grabbed a pad and pen. I wrote for over 2 hours, and I just put it aside because that feeling faded, and that is how I've written my book. Only when I had that powerful energy come over me could I write that book.
Wow.
That is how I have written this book.
I've heard a lot of inspirational explanations as to how people have written their book. That's pretty special.
I couldn't write it when I thought I'll just sit down and do it. Nothing like that.
Have you found during your journey obviously since sharing the story with other people, you're going to get some varying reactions. goods and bads. What's been the general consensus from the public when you've spoken to them?
I've had wonderful reaction about that. Of course, you always get your skeptics, and that's quite okay. I respect that. But there's so many people searching for something. I was like it myself at one time, and I call it another miracle that all this was given to me, and it's like I'm there to try and help them wake up to who they really are. And I don't mind the skeptics. Good, they're there. Perhaps there's some little seed that gets planted inside them when I'm speaking that they will remember.
I think that sparks healthy debate. I mean, you've got to have the skeptics are important because you're right. It might generate a debate. It might create a seed which could be nurtured, and who knows what can come out of that. I've found that the reason why people publish has been quite interesting, especially over the past few years, and I'm focusing more on the people's legacy that they're leaving. And I think that over the past 6 months and all the authors that I've met and helped publish, your story in regards to legacy is probably one of the most profound ones that I've come across. So I wanted to congratulate you. It's amazing that you've got this out there, and I've had the privilege of meeting some of Sylvia's family today, which is wonderful, and I think I could see it in their faces. They're well aware of what you've got in your hands now. It's quite special. So what does the future look like for One Woman's Miracle, Everyone's Journey?
Well, I hope and I pray that everybody will be able to read this book and they can judge for themselves. They have their choice, what they think about it. But the main reason I put it out was one of those reasons that they showed me in the council room that I had something to do. And this was one of them.
Okay.
And if I can help anybody in any way like that by reading this book, because I have said how I've solved the problem as well, I would be very happy.
All right.
I would be very happy if somebody gets some wisdom out of this book.
It looks like 2016 is going to be a very exciting year for you.
I hope so.
Excellent. If you guys want to get a copy of Sylvia's book, it's on Amazon. It's at the inhousebookstore.com.au, and it's at the web link you're seeing on the screen right now. So jump on board, get yourself a copy, and understand what One Woman's Miracle is all about. Thank you for coming in, Sylvia.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.